What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I wanted to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, so the market is seeing lots of pumps and dumps right now. We're seeing all kinds of crazy pieces of news coming out. The first thing was we got the JOLTS job openings reports. That was above expectations. The market saw this little dump and pump upon that coming out. We also dumped because of this news right here about how Donald Trump is saying that he wants to double down on tariffs on Canada, on Canadian steel and aluminum imports. He wants to increase them to an additional 25% on top of the 25% they're supposed to be, putting them to 50% in total. So that's something very big that Donald Trump said. That's why the market got this big sell-off despite good JOLTS numbers. We pushed up, came back down, then the market started to run again. The reason why the market ran, if you look at like SPY and Tesla, they both saw this like big upside move because Ukraine has now agreed to a temporary ceasefire with Russia. They were negotiating from Saudi Arabia. That's some big news that's come out. We still are waiting for Russia to agree to the ceasefire for it to go into effect. That's huge news. For now, there's a temporary ceasefire that's been agreed upon just on Ukraine's end, so we're waiting for Russia on this. That's huge news, right? This is going to be lasting for about 30 days, and we'll have to see how things go with Russia's side. So we'll see how that happens. But for the time being, that's what caused the market to at least pump a bit, and we're going to be watching to see how well we hold up from here. The last thing I want to mention is that tomorrow is going to be Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. For tomorrow, we have CPI data coming out. We're expecting a slight decrease in core CPI to 0.3%. We're expecting core year over year to be 3.2 to 3.1%. And then for everything else to be at a slight decrease. So we're expecting inflation to go down a bit. Nothing is guaranteed. If you're holding anything overnight, we'll have to see about that. If you're holding anything, just be careful because if we dump again, if CPI is a little hot, or if we get some kind of bearish reaction to whatever the numbers are, we could be dumping to 550 again on SPY. If we get a bullish reaction, you want to see if SPY could get back above 565. If we manage to break past that, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to the 570s. So we could go either way. If you're holding anything overnight, just be careful. That's my very important warning for tomorrow. Anyways, looking back at Tesla, I kind of skipped over that for a second. If we get a very hot CPI and Tesla dumps, it's going to be at risk of returning below 220. That could actually dump us all the way back down towards that like 218 area. If CPI pumps the markets, and if Tesla manages to hold up, we could continue this uptrend, and we want to see Tesla break past 240. If we could break that, we're looking for an attempt to get back up towards many of these highs, such as like 248 and beyond. So we'll be watching to see which way we go. If you're holding anything overnight for Tesla, just be careful. For the QQQ, it's the same thing. A good CPI can launch us much higher past 480 into the 485 plus area. A bad one, if we get a negative reaction, we could be dipping below 472 to start dipping for 465. So be careful and give this some time. For the Russell 2000, we have like a double bottom bullish divergence. If we manage to break past resistance right here at 203, we're looking for an attempt to push for 205. And if we end up losing 201, we're looking for a dump back down below 198. We could go either way, but for now, we're looking a bit more bullish. So we'll see. It depends on what happens with CPI. ES is either going to launch the 5650s or above, or it could be dumping back below 5550. Could go either way. We'll have to watch and see what happens with CPI. Bitcoin is looking pretty good right now, quite bullish looking structure. For this to continue, you want to see us continue to break past 84,000. If you look at like our 30 minutes time frame, a hold above 84,000, this can continue to pump, especially with this inverse head and shoulders. But if we get a bad CPI, we could be dumping below 80,000, so be careful. Nvda, you want to see it get back around that 115 area. I don't want to see this thing lose like 106. It depends on CPI. So, like I said, it could go either way. Tesla's looking a little bit more bullish on the 30 minutes time frame, by the way, but we want to see this thing try to break past 240 to try to continue. So keep that in mind. Apple's trying to base at 220. If we get back above 226, we're looking for a rebound. If we lose 220, we could dip back down, so it could go either way. Coin, if we're bullish, you want to get back above 200. If we're bearish, you want to see us lose 188. I am anticipating this might try to uptrend in terms of this technical structure, but that depends on CPI. We want to see Amazon break 200 to really start pushing. If we end up losing like around 194 area, we could be dumping. It depends on CPI. If you're holding anything overnight, be careful. If Meta could hold above 600, it's going to be favoring and push back up towards at least 618. So it is looking bullish, at least technically, but that depends on CPI. A bad CPI, if we end up losing 596, we could dump back down. Microsoft is range bound. You want to see it lose. You want to see it break 386 to remain bullish. If we end up losing 378, we could turn back down. Google as well, you want to see it break 168 at the very least to push for the 170s. If you lose 164, we turn back down much harder. So the VIX, it has these gaps below which could eventually get filled, but it depends on CPI. I don't like to gamble, so I'm just here to tell you guys to be careful with the markets, be careful with SPY, be careful with Tesla. Tesla does look like it wants to balance, but it depends on these numbers, so just be very careful. There's also lots of noise when it comes to geopolitics with Ukraine, with what's going on with Canada, and the list goes on. So keep that in mind. So we'll see what happens. We're watching to see what happens with these inflationary numbers coming out for tomorrow before market open. If you're holding anything overnight, this is your last chance. You gotta, you want to exit the positions if you don't want to take the risk. If you want to take the risk, it's up to you guys, but I'm just here to give you guys a warning. Anyways, that's it for this one. I thank you all so much for listening. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll be back with another upload later on. Thanks again, and peace out.